Your glasses in case you have trouble. You go out there. You go out there. Hey Sue, good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm good.
Good.
Music, and she was looking
Skinned your knees?
Oh, my goodness. Yeah. Did I post that everywhere?
No, Kirsten said that you had a knee skinning incident.
I did. Oh my God, it never ends, but they're okay today. And that's just like walking. I think my feet need glasses, to see where they're going, because it was just like with Apple coming from the market, but it wasn't a full display in front of the world, which is good. It's just near my house.
So nothing caught on video that's going to go viral?
I don't think so, but you never know.
Well,
it's all good. So good. Okay, I'm going to mute because someone's going to tell me I have to mute.
all right.
I mean, anyway, someone will.
Someone, somewhere. All right there, folks. Oh, it's start time. It's 8:45. Look at that. It's fun day. It's Sunday. It's underway. I don't have any other rhyming words I can think of right now, but as I think about it, I probably can. To get started today, we're going to come to the center part of our mats, bringing our feet together with the alignment of the toes straight forward. As we bring straightness to the legs, I like you to kind of engage your quadriceps, those front leg muscles. Feel them fire up, and as you do so, I also like you to kind of engage your heel push. I like you to push the heels into the ground and bring as much straightness to the legs as possible. If you kind of feel like that rear end package engaging a little bit, perfect. Draw the shoulders up to the ears, open the palms to face forward, and you feel like a little pretzel. No, because we're not even round around. We're like a big stick, right? Pulling tall, the head to the sky. Take a big breath in and then draw the shoulders back, sweep the arms up shoulder height with the palms facing the sky. Beautiful. Now, use the fingers to pull that arm of yours and shoulders forward. And then as you breathe in, I'd like you to pull the shoulders out and draw them backwards. Nice. Now, flip the palms to face. As you inhale, raise the arms. As you exhale, fold halfway forward, keep the arms up. And then come back up to standing. And then do that a couple more times. Drawing the hips backwards, keeping the spine long. Inhaling as you rise. Exhaling as you lower. Now hold low. Let the arms drop down to the earth. Back is in a tabletop position, growing nice and long. Your fingers are probably elevated off the earth right now. As we're running tabletop, we're running the back nice and long, parallel to the earth. Take a big breath in, and as you exhale it, let the spine just flex. Let the hands drift to the floor. Let the head just dangle there and find some nice length. Draw your booty backwards, and as you weight more to the heels, inhale, extend to a flat back. Exhale, fold back down. Drift the weight forward till you feel your toes bearing a lot more weight than they were previously. Let's walk your hands forward. Now, straighten the legs. You should feel a nice pull or tautness behind the back of the knee. If you don't, kind of sweep forward a little more and straighten the legs a little more. And then draw back the hips. As you unhinge the body, sweep the arms to the sky and salute the sun. Good morning. Now, separate the fingers widely. Use them to pull the arms and shoulder carriage high. Take a big breath in, and as you exhale it, bring hands over heart. Interlock the fingers. Let's drop the elbows in onto that rib cage of yours. Nice. Now, like we were practicing earlier, we're going to half forward fold, tabletop, and then come back up. And then fold halfway forward. Now keep the palms together with the fingers interlocked and push the hands to the sky. And then fold forward, hands come back over heart, tabletop back. As we raise, arms push sky. And as we lower, hands heart, half forward fold. Now we're going to increase the range of motion on the down part. Now bringing hands heart, see if you can drift that upper body a little lower and come back up, hands push to the sky. And let's do that a couple more times at your pace. This is a variation of good morning. Probably somewhat familiar with the exercise. Now, as you raise the upper body, push the hands to the sky, keeping the fingers interlocked, drop them down. Drop the arms down, shoulder height. Now, let's take those elbows and rotate them, spiral them so they face the earth, and take your thumbs and push them forward and down. Take your shoulders, draw them back, engage that six pack of yours, and then give me a little bit of rotation to the left, come back center and to the right, and then oscillate between the two sides. As we make the rotation of the spinal column here, I'd like you to keep the hips and the low back embraced, so we're not shifting and opening side to side. It's really the upper back we're trying to find some rotation in. We're going to bring in the lower back in just a second, a couple more reps. And as you come back center now, let's separate the feet to the edges of the mat. Turn your toes in ever so slightly. Lock out those knees and drift that butt back. And then similarly, we're going to rotate left and right, reaching the arms forward, keeping that six pack engaged. And then start to draw a figure of eight, up, down. See if you can make that eight a little larger. And bring it back center, hands come over heart. A little bit of heart rate effect there, a little bit of breathing. Interlocking the fingers, no, we're gonna unlock them and keep them nice and wide with hands still over heart, and fold halfway forward. And then we're going to take our hands, push them forward. As the hands push in together, we're extending forward. And then we're going to keep the push of the hands together as we draw hands back over heart. Extend and push. Back, heart, all the way out. Keep that push going. One more time, out. Hold out, stand tall, arms are extending to the sky. Big breath in, exhale it, let the arms fall. Shoulders come up to the ears. Palms open to face forward. Nice. Now, take the hands, as we separate the fingers widely, we're going to draw back. Now, bend the elbows this time. So we're going to take the elbows with a bend, hold the elbows to the sky. And if you feel the shoulders wanting to rise, good. That's part of the motion here. So we're going to pull back the elbows, hold them to the sky. Shoulders are also going to rise. And as we lower the arms, I want you to bring your elbows into the rib cage. And open the palms to face away from the body. And then let the palms rotate forward. Draw those elbows back up, higher. Inhale, crowd out that chest. Let the arms come straight and sweep them forward now, extending all the way out. Draw those baby fingers together and draw those forearms together. And see if you can turn your thumbs down towards the earth. Now, hold that. As you pull the elbows in, trace the rib cage with them and draw them all the way back, crowding out the chest, keeping that external rotation of the palms, trying to get those thumbs rotating as best you can to the earth. Serve it back out, baby fingers first, forearms next, all the way out, holding out, fold halfway forward. Keep those arms reaching. Now let the hands drift to the earth, let that back of yours relax. Inhale, extend to a flat back now. Draw the hips back, keep that back extending. Take a big inhale. Exhale, let the upper body fold. Inhale, extend to a flat back. Step your
palms onto your shins. Let's make sure those elbows are rotating away from the backside of the body. Let's make sure those chest of ours, that chest of ours is nice and proud. And we are maintaining this inverted folded type of position, spine lengthening, neck lengthening type of process right now. Pushing the palms, keeping that back extending. Give me a nice proud chest. Try to get those upper back muscles super engaged. Now keep them engaged as you bend both knees. Keep that spine extending. And then straighten the legs. Bend the knees. See if you can increase the range of motion. Your legs will only go as straight as they can be, but the knees can bend a little more. Try it today. Try to get a little deeper. This is working mobility of the hips and knees, and a little bit of the ankles, getting down a little lower, keeping that thoracic or upper spine of ours super active. We're changing the work in it as we change the angle for our hips and knees, keeping that back extending. Come down one more time, hold down, and now take the palms, sweep them forward, and we're slightly unhinging the body. We're in a deep squat though. We're going to try to deepen a little more, try to get a little lower, and then raise the arms, hold up, holding, raise a little higher if you can, hold, and then come all the way up, sweep the hands, sky, inhale, exhale, lower the arms. How's this all done? I'm kidding. Whew, that's a warm up, right? Now, we have our feet to the sides of the mat. I'm going to take the hips and just rock them side to side. And then we're going to start to hula hoop them, pushing forward. I'm circling left. Doesn't matter what direction you started in. It's all going to work out in the long run. And you're just going to try to make the circle that those hips are moving through a little wider each time. Give you as much opportunity. Just slow it down as you need. I'm going a little faster just because I like the cadence. It's your cadence. And then reverse the motion, go the opposite way. Sometimes our knees like to bend. You can get a little groovy with it if you like, but if you can, try to keep the knees relatively straight, working the mobility through the hips, getting those little small muscles that like to be uncooperative with movement, moving, getting them help. All right, now coming back center, holding up, taking our hips backwards, not toppling over, just to pronounce weight in the heel, and then going to bend both knees. The knees are going to push forward. We're going to be maintaining a vertical spine as best we can. All right, now sinking down a little lower. I'd like you to bring your hands forward, separate those fingers. Love to do that, as you can tell right now. Drift the hips backwards and get the weight mostly to the heels now. Sink a little deeper, hold down. Now take the arms, sweep them back slowly. Spiral open the palms when the arms are back and rotate them to face each other as they come forward. And we're going to elevate the arms higher than the shoulders. And then continue this slowly. The backward motion and the forward motion. I like you to kind of keep those heels locked in. And in fact, I like you to try to push the heels, isometric activation, out from the center line of the body as we rotate the arms, moving them up higher and back farther. Keep those heels rotating externally. Couple more repetitions. If those muscles on the side of your hips are burning, awesome. Now, hold back, stand tall. Inhale, reach for the sky. Exhale, fold forward, fold. A lot of hip mobility exercises there. As we come down into plank pose, we're going to enjoy a little bit of a break. Now, your feet, try to position them so they're about hip width apart behind you. And the ball of each big toe, I'd like you to kind of make sure you can kind of feel a little portion of that connected to your mat. That's the internal rotation of the foot. Now, straighten out the legs, drive those heels backwards, If you feel the low leg muscles enjoying a nice lengthening, perfect. Let the chest kind of fall between the shoulders. Now, take your six-pack muscle and imagine from the ground, a cannonball is going to fire up into it. Engage it. Let's round the back as you activate that six-pack muscle. And then as you inhale, keep the six-pack activation, but do proudening of the chest, pull the back of the head high to the sky. Cannonball, round the back, let the head drop. Inhale, keep that six-pack extending through the back, pulling the back of the head to the sky. Let's do it one more time. Inhale. Exhale. Knees come down to the earth. Separate them to the width of the mat. Flip your feet so you're on the tops of them. As you drift your hips backwards into child's pose, let the hands walk forward. Today, let's keep the forearms up and off the mat. Now, keeping the face facing the earth, let's push with the chest through to the earth. Take a big inhale, and as you exhale, come back into an all-four position. As you step your hands back to the width of the mats, underneath the shoulders, take the feet out to the sides of the mat also. That center area has a nice vacancy. We have that spine of ours growing long as you inhale. You're going to rotate the elbows into the center line. Now, cat and cow. So the tailbone and the back of the head move skyward. Keep that skyward moving position. And now imagine that cannonball is going to be fired again. Engage that six-pack muscle. And then keep it engaged as we come into cow position, or cat, sorry. Pulling the hips under, tucking under, letting the head fall. Pushing through the arms. Big rounding, big flexion in the back. Keep that as you draw back the hips towards the heels. And then come back where the hips are positioned up over the knees and reverse this. Cannonball, it's gonna fire, get it ready. And then keep it. Coming into cats. All right, pushing, yeah, sound effects and everything. Oh, now come back to a neutral spine, float the knees, and drift the hips backwards towards the heels. And then come back with the knees still float, and then drift backwards. You should feel a nice release with those quads of yours. We're lengthening them out as we draw backwards. Come back up, pull the hips up to the sky, drive the heels to the earth. I'm going to step in just a little. It's a very narrow stance, down dog. As my heels drive to the earth, my legs straighten, and my tailbone pulls to the sky, almost like I'm lifting the whole body with it. Take a big breath in. As you exhale, walk the hands back to the feet. Inhale, extend to a flat back. Exhale, fold back down. Unfold as you sweep hands to the sky. Woo, nice. Got a little heat going today. Let's bring hands over heart, interlock the fingers again. Just posting the right foot forward as left foot steps back, making sure that that heel is aiming straight up, right? I know how you love to be reminded of everything. All right, so it's a slight bend in the knee today. We're going to lean the upper body in. And now we're going to keep that slight bend in the knee as we push the wrapped fingers forward. We're going to make a rotation to the right. We're going to hold in this and enjoy it for a second. Little nuances here. Take that left heel, drive it down towards the earth. Take those arms, reach them forward, and see if you can make a little more rotation. Come back center. Hands over heart. From the front foot, explode backwards and set up the opposite side. Same little bend in the knee. Drifting forward, sorry, not drifting forward, folding forward partially, extending the arms out. Nice. Now, rotation left. Take the right heel, drive it towards the earth. See if you can increase the rotation. Come back center. Hands, heart. Explode back. Opposite side. Set it up. Extend forward. Rotate it. Come back center. Rotate again. Come back center. Hold center. Left heel drives earth. Rotate right. Center. Hands, heart. Explode back. Opposite side. Extending out. Rotating left. Centering. Again left. Center. Hold. Right heel drives to the earth. Rotate. Hold, hold, hold. Centering the body. Hands hard. Exploding back. Pushing hands to the sky. Inhale, extend, and fold it all the way down. Walk it all the way out into all fours, sinking down to all fours. Nice. Now, I'm going to step my feet back, but my knees are going to maintain contact. So the hands, front part of the mat, knees decidedly past the halfway point, and we have our toes tucked under. I'm going to drift the shoulders forward, and then let the hips draw down towards the earth. As we go into spinal extension here, I'd like you to open through the chest, and then take the back of your head, lift it to the sky. Now, pull the hips up, engage the six-pack, draw back those hips of yours, letting that nice lat release being realized here. Arms are straight, slowly coming back, and letting those hips drift earthward. Should feel a nice couple of pull points. Now, some of us might feel low back compression, and if you do, I'd like you to avoid the compression in that low back. Imagine the spine's going long, and try not to lower so much. This may be fought against with the muscles that are often tight, and that translates into the compression. So I want you to avoid that by just elevating as necessary. Holding, keeping the chest nice and proud. Draw those hips back, keep that six-pack engaged. Nice lat release. Walk those hands forward as the hips draw backwards. And then come back and lower down onto the mat, facing down. Nice. Now, baby cobra. These are thoracic mobility exercises. And you'll know that you have a range that's best executed by you. So, stabilization of the spine. I'd like you to engage the six-pack and then extend the upper back and draw the back of the head away from the earth. And then lower back down, just so the nose kind of touches the mat. And as you inhale, extend through the spine with the six-pack engaged, of course, and then lower back down. Important to start with the six-pack engagement and then the extension. Keep the six-pack active all the time. Engaging like you're expecting that cannonball, that imaginary one I keep talking about. Inhaling as you raise. Exhaling as you lower. Couple more repetitions. Yeah. You should feel kind of the obliques or the lower belly muscles kind of actively engaging as you raise. Now, hold down. Push up off the earth into like a little modified cobra. So the hips are low, shoulders are high. I'm growing the spine. And then I'm going to kind of peel down Pilates style all the way back down to the chest with the nose remaining elevated just off the mat. Now, extending, pulling with the back of the hand, using the arms to assist, pushing up and getting that nice extension. Beautiful. Lower down, one more repetition. We're moving on afterwards. Down, inhale, extend. Raising. Now pull the hips backwards. Walk the arms forward. Enjoy that nice lengthening of the upper body. Pushing through with that proud chest of yours. And then walking the hands backwards. Gonna have a seat. That's a smooth transition. All right. We grooving on this so far? A lot of work.
once in a while.
Yeah, water.
Sharing is caring.
Sharing is caring.
Thanks for sharing your cold. I'm joking. Oh my God. I'm joking, it's a joke. Okay. Feet hip width apart. We have our toes aiming up the sky. We're gonna try to separate. So this arch in the bottom of the foot, we're gonna try to push it flat a little bit by broadening out the toes. All right, so if you've ever wear shoes, like none of us ever did, right? I'm of course being facetious. We have that toe box that's always compressing those toes together. So this is the reverse of that exercise. It's nice because you walk, you sit, stand, do all these things with your body, and your proprioceptives and the feet, oh, they're always getting locked down and shut off. So this is a good kind of opening for the nervous system there. Now, just let the feet relax, roll them in and out, around, circling, whatever you want to call it, reverse the direction. Ankle mobility, equally important for all of the other joints. And in fact, probably more important, because that's where your kinetic change really starts from. I just reversed again, and then reverse the opposite way. All right, let's calm the feet. I'm going to shake out the legs a little bit. I'm going to flex the feet. We're going to get proud with the chest, tall with the spine, long with the neck. And we're going to hold on this for just a second or two. How's your day? Good, good. All right, good is good. So we're keeping this nice and proud. We're going to bring our hands onto the thighs. I like to try to engage those quadriceps. You can feel with the palm of your hands that those muscles are active. It's almost like you're pushing the back of your knee into the ground, keeping those feet nice and flexed, chest proud, spine long. Beautiful. Now, take the hands off those legs, keep those quads engaged, separate the fingers widely as they turn to face. We're going to drift backwards. Now, this is not a rounding to get down. This is an extension of the back, and we're increasing the opening angle in the hips here. So you're going to feel those hip flexors going, hello. Now, lower down, and then C-curve the spine, and get all the way down. Oh. And then come back up, Pilates style. And then at a certain point, straighten the spine and use those hip flexors to draw forward. Keep the spine long. I'm going to come on the top parts of the toe. We're not diving down today. I'd like you to reach forward the arms, keeping that proud chest, and then keep the chest proud, draw back. Nice length with the spine. And then all of a sudden, you know, that point you hit it where you want to C-curve, hit it, and drop it down. And extend all the way back. We're going to come back up one more time. C-curving, straight, folding, spine straight, arms reaching forward. Keep those feet in flexion. Oh, the posterior muscles kind of going, ah. You getting it?
Mm-hmm.
All right, come back up to staff pose. Arms still extending forward. Nice. Now, kind of wiggle it around. Get onto those sit bones, the ischium, those nice bony protuberances of your pelvic girdle. Once you kind of found that location, or your best version thereof, you're going to keep the arms reaching straight, and then I'm going to bring the hands together. Palm to palm, fingers nice and wide and separated. Nice. Now draw the shoulders back and then draw the elbows out. So we're kind of like modified Egyptian pose, right? Gonna flip the fingers up, rotate them down. So we're gonna floss some of the nerves in that lower arm bars. As far out as you can go, as far in as you can go. Doesn't matter if your elbows raise or lower, just rotate those hands. Palms are pushing together. Now, hold with the fingers aiming straight up, draw those elbows back, extend those arms out, keep the palms together. Beautiful. Palms push together, raise the arms, raise, 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 and then lower back down, fingertips all the way to the earth. Now, flip the palms so that we have one, doesn't matter, we're going to do both sides. One's closer to the earth than the other. Raise back up, lower down. Flip it over, Opposite side. Keep the palms pushing together. Keep the arms straight. Flip. Raise. Lower. Flip. Raise. So you're pushing, creating resistance in this movement. Rotation. Lift. And then opposite side. Oh, and then lower back down. Relax those arms. Shake it out. Oh, nice. Now I'm going to come all the way down onto your backside. Oh, doesn't have to be elegant, just has to be feel. Just doesn't have to feel good either. It could feel miserable, but this does feel good. Lying down right now, enjoying our slight reprieve. Got some thunder in the background. And here we go. We're going to kind of take our pelvic girdle and I'm going to rock it forward so you feel your tailbone mostly connected to your mat. And then we're going to tuck under the hips so you get that low back skin, that sensation of touch. And once we have that, we're going to hold with a nice big six-pack muscle engagement. As we keep that six-pack engaged, we're going to take the right leg and extend it out away from the body, 45-degree angle. I'm going to put my hands behind the back of my head just because it helps to stabilize the neck. There's something else, which is open up those shoulders. The heel's driving away, and I'm going to raise the leg so that it has a vertical orientation. Pushing up with the heel. Now, take a deep breath in. As you exhale, let's bring the head up towards the knee. So it's like a modified crunch. And then lower back down, and then do that 4 more times. Slowly. I'm going to get a little higher, but please don't pull the back of the head. This is all about the six-pack crunching, engaging more than it is about the head being pulled with the arms. Now, lower down, return that right foot back to the floor, extend that left foot out, drive it out, drive that heel. Now make sure that low back skin is still connected to your mat, right? Nice. Now bring that leg into vertical. Crunch time. Rising and lowering slowly. As we added repetitions in here, those muscles may be less responsive, but just give me your best effort and be mindful not to pull with the arms. For me, I have 1 more repetition. As I lower down and relax my arms, bring them beside my body with the feet planting on the earth. Now, I'm going to take my low back skin and make that nice little connection. As I take my hands and reach them up to the sky, I'm going to keep that nice palm to palm facing as I draw back the arms and feel that nice lengthening of the upper body. Now, with that low back skin still connected, we're going to come up Pilates style. I'm going to separate my feet out a little wider so there's a little more room. As I draw the arms down, I'm going to drop the chin and I'm going to try to come up, up, up. Oh, I had to cheat it a little bit. It's tough, I know. We don't have the counterbalance of the weight. Now, draw the fingers forward. Lots of flexion of the spine. Someone's clearing their throat. All right, come back up. Extending the legs out. I'm going to use them now to sweep them around so I can just transition so I'm into a prone position on all fours. All right. So we're on a kind of quadricep or all 4 position. I'm going to bring the hands or the sides of them out to the mat. I'm going to make the fingers nice and wide, kind of like a frog hand, if you will. You know how they have those big hands out front just before they go jump. So on the back side, we have the knees, the same thing. They're out to the width of the mat. We're going to take the hips and just rock them side to side. and then calm them, and then draw them backwards. And we're gonna come up off the knees and then see if we can drift the hips back even further towards the heels. Get a nice little quadricep stretch here. 3 of the quad muscles anyways, getting a nice stretch. Now lower the knees, drift back, raise the knees, and then drift the hips backwards. Try to keep the knees out to the edges of the mat as they lower down and you bring the upper body forward. Now come more forward this time, over the shoulders, forward of the wrists, raising up the knees, drawing those hips backwards, all the way, as far back as they'll go. Knees lower, step the feet out to the edges of the mat if they weren't presently there. Let the head fall, pull with the center of the spine. Proud through the chest, back and head and tailbone, flip to the sky. Float the knees, pull the hips up and back to down dog. Ride the heels. Proud the chest, sweep that proud chest towards the legs. And then step your feet forward. Inhale, extend to a flat back. Exhale, fold back down. Unhinge and fold and sweep, unhinge and sweep to the sky. Hands come over heart. Take that left leg, step it to the front of the mat. Take the right leg and step it backwards. I've turned to the right. If you're working with a partner, make sure you're not sticking your head in the rear end. Gonna get a nice wide stance. It's where you feel comfortable, right? So this is all about the right width, wider than the hips, and certainly not split, somewhere in between. Now take the left hip and push it to the side, to the left side. My legs are going to be straight, so I'm going to feel a pull through that right inner thigh. We're going to do the same thing on the opposite side. And what happens is that we tend to push backwards. I would like you to try to translate directly to the side. There'll be a little backward drift, but that's fine. Now those outer hip muscles might start to feel a little more active, and that's kind of what we're working on right now. There's antagonistic pairs, the inner thigh and the outer hip pushing. Now come back center, draw the hips backwards, keeping the hands on those waists of ours. We're going to keep the upper body long at a 45-degree angle, and then we're going to kind of play around with the weighting and the feet. I like you to drift forward and feel the ball of each big toe pushing to the earth, and then we're going to drift backwards till we get that heel of each foot mostly weighted. I want you to remember that sensation. Lower the upper body down a little more until you can get your fingertips down upon the mat. If your spine has decided to go into flexion, avoid that. Extend the spine and give you the weight mostly to the heel of the foot. Let's walk the hands along the edge of the mat towards that right foot. So we're pulling the arms away from the body as the hips drift backwards. And then see if you can walk that left hand past the right hand. Keep the weight to the heels. Try not to drift forward. Now walk the left hand and the right hand over the opposite side. Left hand goes out first. Enjoy the lengthening, adding into the rotation of the spinal column. Walk that right hand. And then bring everything back center. Now we've had those legs of ours open wide for a long time. We're going to drift forward and drift backward, the upper body. A couple of times, slowly forward. And slowly back, holding back now. We're going to do some windmills. We're going to keep that left hand planted, tabletopping the back. I'm going to take the right arm out to the side of the body and then raise the right shoulder. And then lower down and then switch sides. And then continue. Oscillation, left to right. Now, old habits die hard. So if you're pulling forward and you feel the front part of your foot weighting more than the back part. Don't let that habit come into play here. Keep the weight back in the heel. You're actively doing that. All right, a lot of nice rotational effort here. Let's do it a few more times. And then everybody meet hand center. Walk your feet back in. We're still folded. Feet are hip width apart. As you inhale, extend to a flat back. Keep the back in extension. Draw back your booty. Let the upper body just fold down now. Nice lengthening. As you inhale, extend to a flat back. Keep the back in extension, bend both knees. Make sure they're tracking over the toes. Feel that nice pull in those lower leg muscles. So you're like a ski jumper ready to explode. Try to push the knees forward and just pulse with them. Pushing forward and then hold. Step your hands onto your thighs and then unhinge the upper body. Stand tall. Oh. Hands sweep up to the sky as hands descend over heart. I'm rotating back to face you lovely ladies. Oh, such a beautiful day. What about Mark? And Mark too. Mark, you're gonna have to shave your legs, just saying. All right, so hands over heart. Lost my train of thought now. We're in my class, all organized. Now we're off track. Anyways, I'm joking, relax. Enough about you. All right, hands are over heart. I'm going to take the hips backwards, folding halfway forward, keeping the spine nice and long. Beautiful. Holding on this, dropping in a little lower. Spinal extension as we find more hip flexion. Spinal extension, flex a little more. Keep the spine extending, come down a little further. So there's two actively moving chains here. The extensors of the spine getting longer, making it longer, and the lengthening through those gluteals and the tautness of the hamstrings kind of working together, a little deeper. Keep the spine extending as you unhinge and come all the way back up, holding up. Beautiful. Hands push to the sky. Inhale, extend. Exhale, fold all the way down. Have a seat. Gonna get some water. Left it over here. All right. Have a little sip. All righty. Little frog in the throat. All right. Let's take the left foot. Let's plant it. And then take the right hand on top of this. We're going to take the left hand and plant. And we're going to grow the spine. And I'm going to take my left fingers, aiming them directly backwards. So I'm externally rotating for that left shoulder. As I rotate through the spinal column, I'm actually pulling with the top of my head and then rotating the shoulder carriage. Now my left leg, like most people, is going to want to pull out. This is why we have the right hand. So I want you to pull in. And I want you to use two pulls. The inner thigh muscles and the arm pull together as you grow nice and tall through the spine. All right, and then release that, switch up sides. Same kind of planting with the hand, drawing along the spinal column. Now, pull with the inner thigh, pull with the left hand into the center line, rotate the spine. Back center. Bring the bottoms of your feet together. I'm going to step my hips a little farther forward so I'm kind of able to get my hands close to the feet. Elevation in these and tension in the upper body. If you're like I'm looking right now, I want you to relax the upper body. This is a decompression exercise here, or stretch. I like to be nice and tall. The arms are just helping to enable the spine to find length, because we're offsetting some of the work that's being imparted by the hips and the overpowering of this movement. So we're growing the spine nice and long, drawing the head nice and high, crowding out the chest, And then I'm gonna release the hands. And you're gonna feel a bunch of muscles start to kick up, and I'm gonna bring the hands back. I'm gonna proud out the chest, nice and tall. Here we go. And then I'm gonna release and then extend the legs all the way out. We're gonna stretch out to finish up. Come down Pilates style. You felt those hip flexors kind of pull a little bit, that's great. We're gonna feel that nice length. Realize a little more, take the fingertips above the head, pull in one direction with them, and then take the toes, point them and pull in the opposite direction. Finding as much length through your whole body. Fill those lungs with air, and then exhale, relax everything. Let the arms come down beside the body, proud out the chest. You have a little bit of six-pack engagement. Now, you'll notice that the low back skin is not, and most people will not be touching the mat. And that's fine. That's kind of like normal. We have that interior rotation of the pelvic girdle itself. But I'd like you to be stable with the spine. So like you can engage the six-pack as you proud out the chest. This will be your best opportunity today at perfect posture, because we're using the floor to help with that alignment. We're just going to hold here and develop a little memory of it. And let just everything relax now. Let the feet fall wherever they feel comfortable falling. Most of us will experience an outward rotation of the feet. That's just because those external rotators tend to be more dominant. Take another breath or two. And let's pull the knees up and into the chest, the forehead up to meet the knees, and then rock and roll all the way up to a seated position. Cross your legs in your preferred style. Yes, we've arrived back in planet Earth. Hands come back over heart. For me to thank you for joining us today. I appreciate you being here. Namaste.
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 Okay,
Alrighty.
how are we doing? There she is.